This is your Northwoods hunting tip of the week. In the whole process of spring turkey hunting, in nature, the gobbler gobbles and the hens that are receptive will come to him. In reverse order, when we're hunting, we are making the hen noise and getting the gobbler to come to us. We're reversing what nature is trying to do. So we're making that hen noise and frustrating that gobbler to the point where he will come investigate why that hen is not receptive to him, and will most likely, in all perfect scenarios, come home with you and become dinner. So my point is, whenever we locate the gobbler, whether by crow or by barred owl, natural voice, or by a tool, that turkey that you hear gobble is always closer than what you think, regardless of the time of season, the density of the woods, in early or late. You may think that bird is 100 or 200 yards away, when in reality that bird may realistically be 45, 55, 60 yards away. So you don't want to just continue to press into the woods and bump that bird out. When you hear that turkey, set up relatively quickly from where you're located and make that bird come to you, and you will be amazed of how quickly that bird will come and how close he really was based on what you thought, because they're tricky and the sound is different in the woods than what you actually would think it would be. I learned this tip from Eddie Salter on one of the cutting and strutting H&S strut videos, where he thought that bird was probably about 300 yards away, but his knowledge and experience taught him to set up where he was on a logging road, and that bird was less than 100 yards away and was coming in very, very quickly. This has been your Northwoods hunting tip of the week. This is your Northwoods hunting tip of the week. When turkey hunting, you can purchase products to make your hunt more enjoyable and easier to accomplish certain tasks. Or you can make your own. Growing up on the farm, I didn't want to spend extra money, so I made a lot of products myself. Saw a concept on a video, was able to engineer something very similar to that with the products or the items that I had available. Same thing now that I've got my own piece of property. For instance, this gun rest. I could buy one for $15 or $20, but I just took some trim pieces and then carpet, and then an old snap piece from an old bike helmet, and it wraps around my knee, and I'm able to sturdy my gun there without any issue whatsoever. On the stool, I could buy a $10, $20, $30 stool, but I had some stock from found on the side of the road from a deck that somebody had discarded, had some screws left over. Yeah, this is 8-9 pounds. I've got a strap on it, but I can utilize this. I can put it on the ground in a wet situation or a very dewy morning, and it sets up for the right height that I am in. And yes, it's a little bulky, but it's works very well. Now, it may not be practical in all situations, but by doing these two items, I've saved quite a bit of money and was able to utilize some resources that otherwise may have been discarded. This has been your Northwoods hunting tip of the week. This is your Northwoods hunting tip of the week. When it comes to turkey calls, you don't have to go expensive and buy top of the brand new out of the box. There are different avenues in which you can purchase great quality turkey calls at a very reasonable price. Marketplace is one of them. For example, I've got this Woodwise number 30 copper tone 3-in-1 slate call, slate, copper, and glass with a striker, as well as this Woodwise gun stock friction call, and this Mad call cherry bomb locally on Marketplace for $10. Now, some of these, they don't make these anymore, but for what I can find, there's somewhere around $100 worth of calls here, as well as a box of chalk too. So you can find these on Marketplace, Macari. You have to pay for shipping in some instances, but you certainly can get great deals on turkey calls, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. I would buy new with the diaphragm calls. With the stock friction call here, this was set up or manufactured for a 20 gauge. I shoot a 12, so I took the plastic pieces off, put them in the microwave for about a minute until I was able to stretch them, and they're able to snap on my stock and able to use that in the woods. This has been your Northwoods hunting tip of the week. This is your Northwoods hunting tip of the week. The way I set my decoy up whenever I'm turkey hunting in the spring may be different than yours, but this is how I do it. Now, I am the X here. the way I set my decoy up, which is just one single hen decoy, if I get a turkey to gobble, let's say right here, and I know that he's going to come in the direction of me, I hunt in pine timber and some logging roads. So I'm going to set the decoy off my left shoulder, or off the opposite shoulder of where he's coming from. So as I'm calling to him, once he makes contact or gets in sight of that hen decoy, that gobbler is going to focus mostly on that hen rather than where I am calling from, to take a little attention off me so I can get in the proper sight-in position even though my gun is up and ready to fire. That's how I set my decoy up. If you've got multiple decoys, you can set up in a different way, but that's how I would suggest, if you are a beginner turkey hunter, how to set that decoy up to take a little attention off you, focus on the decoy, so that bird comes in and looks at the decoy and not looks for you or the sound in which you're making, and take some of the movement that you may accidentally make away, and you may end up with more of a successful hunt. This has been your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. This is your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. I grew up on a farm, and when we harvested our deer, all those deer went to the butcher and was made completely into summer sausage until my teenage years, when I came across a $3 DVD at Walmart that demonstrated how to skin and butcher out your own deer. Deer would always go at least one to this butcher shop for summer sausage, but all the ones that I harvested would get butchered out and cut in specific cuts of meat, and the guys would come over and we would eat that and cook it in certain ways. I still do that to this day on my own property, and find unique ways in order to cut meat for specific dishes, like deer shank roast that I recently found that has become one of my favorites, that I will be utilizing multiple times with what I have left of deer. This has been your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. This is your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. Whenever it comes to firearm hunting wild turkeys, shot placement is key. We're not talking about archery. That's a totally different avenue there. But with shot placement, I'm going to demonstrate on this hen decoy. Whenever most people would think, okay, I'm going to shoot a turkey, you're going to put the bead, you would think you'd put the bead right here on the head, pull the trigger, and you got a turkey. However, that's not the case. If you watch hunting videos and you watch these gobblers, their head is bobbing all over the place. And at any moment, they'll stretch out, gobble, retract. So what your shot placement needs to be is right at the point of the neck, where the feathers and the neck conjoin and that skin appears. So whenever you have your shot placement, it will hit all the areas of the turkey's head and not just the top, where you may or may not get good penetration based on the distance and the pellets that you're using for the turkey. So aim at the base of the neck so you have full penetration over the whole turkey, no matter what distance that bird is at. This has been your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. This is your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. Turkey hunters have a number of options available to them in the calling world in order to lure that bird in. Box calls being one of them. But improper use of the box call can actually decrease the intensity of the volume and the distance that it can reach out and really excite that gobbler for him to come in and investigate why that hen is not coming to him. There's all different kinds of box calls. This is a mad cherry bomb call. Some of them have handles on them. If yours does not have a handle, the handle is used to keep your hands away from the box in order to get that volume to go out better. If you don't have a handle, you don't want to hold your box call like this and try to call, because you're muffling the noise. You want to gently hold the bottom and allow a lot of area to go out in order to get that volume to penetrate through the woods. This has been your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. This is your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. We all get excited when we go hunting, when we're in the stand, in the blind. That's what drives us to the woods. But there's a point where we have to check ourselves at the woods. We've spent all year practicing our target with the bow, shooting our firearm, getting practice in, being as perfect as possible for that 1 microsecond when we look down the barrel or look through the peep sight and release that arrow or pull that trigger in order to harvest that elk or that hog or that bear or that deer or that turkey. And if we mess up, then all that time has been wasted. So we know we're going to get excited, but you have to be able to control that excitement to where you can breathe and relax and be able to accomplish the goal in which you've set forth in order to harvest that deer or whatever it is in the woods. So check yourself at the woods, be able to control your emotions so you can have a successful hunt. This has been your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. This is your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. We all look forward to the activities we enjoy: boating, fishing, camping, hunting, whatever that might be. We also prepare for the unexpected, and sometimes we can't always prepare for such events. But one thing we can prepare for is the way we place our vehicle when we get to our destination. Backing our vehicle in, so going and leaving in a hurry, we don't have to worry about fussing around and backing out, whether somebody's after us, something's after us, or we have endured an injury in which we have to physically drive to seek medical attention. Having that vehicle pointed in the outward direction can save a lot of time and also may save your life too. This has been your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. This is your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week. There are hunters that go in the woods for decades and only have ever shot bucks. They've never harvested a doe. In order to have a good, proper deer herd, you do need to harvest some of those does. Now, bucks taste differently in rut versus outside of the rut, and does taste like beef if cooked properly. In the state of Wisconsin where I hunt, you sign up for a bow license or a gun license, you are automatically given a buck tag for both of those. And later on in the year, you're have the opportunity to purchase antlerless-only bonus tags in counties for public and private land based on the population estimate on it. You should look at purchasing some of those antlerless-only tags in your area to allow you to have more time in the woods to hunt. And if you don't want to take the doe, states offer Feed the Hungry programs where you can donate it to a locker and they'll process the meat and feed somebody in need. This has been your Northwoods Hunting Tip of the Week.